This week, a hot new bombshell.
After bombshell after bombshell.
Bombshell.
A lot of stories were
revelation.
tracking, including an absolute bombshell.
About a bombshell.
Bombshell.
There was a major new bombshell.
Unbelievable.
Bombshell conversation.
Reality Bombshell.
Hello and welcome to Reality Bombshell, the comedy podcast that investigates the not true crimes of your guiltiest pleasures and examines reality TV through a true crime lens. I'm Ben, my pronouns are he, him.
I'm Kelson, my pronouns are they, them.
I'm Ariel, my pronouns are she, her.
And we're three friends who all like true crime, and one of us is a reality TV obsessive, but that's not me.
It's not me.
It's me. I'll admit it. Guys, I have a bombshell for you today.
Let's do it.
I feel like we have to say this at the beginning of every episode, but I'm so excited to talk about this.
We are also... No, we're excited too,
Yeah.
even though we have no idea what's coming next.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'd like to call this episode The Housewife, the Hospital, and the Holy Ghost.
Amen.
And we are going to be in none other than Salt Lake City, Utah today.
Yes! This is...
Maybe one of my least favorite places I've ever been to.
Yeah, so background. Ben and I have been to Salt Lake.
When you're in Salt Lake, you went to where the lady was arrested, right?
Yes, and one of my goals with this podcast, I'll have you know, Ben stayed in the car while I got out and took photos of it.
Well, yeah.
My goal is for Ben to regret staying in the car. For Ben to be like, man, I wish I would have gotten
there
out.
and
wish would've
I
gotten
wasted
out.
it.
I was at Beauty Lab and Laser and I let it pass me by.
It was a strip mall. It was
It was a strip mall.
Yeah, strip mall where
Yeah.
someone that you're going to become obsessed with got arrested.
Yeah,
We'll find out.
And I tried to make Ben watch that episode too. Because when we went to Salt Lake, he was like, okay, fine, I'll agree to one episode. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, we're gonna watch that one. And he was on his phone the whole time.
I will say, this podcast really is great for Ariel, because there's been a couple times where she's tried to get us to watch.
A couple?
And just...
Her entire life. This is her life goal.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, so this is like, I've actually just swindled them into doing this.
Ben swindled himself.
This is
That's
correct.
true. It turns out I just needed to like monetize you and
Yes.
monetize
Yeah.
it a little bit to get you interested
Yeah.
in Real Housewives.
The-
I'll take it.
Yeah, any way to swindle me is to get me to monetize something.
Yes,
That's so true.
I
Ben, unfortunately, capitalist at heart.
All right, so the year is 2019.
Ooh.
The highest grossing movie of the year, Avengers Endgame,
We saw
Oh,
that. You and I
yeah.
saw that together.
2.79 billion.
I saw that a couple times in theaters, because that's
Yeah.
when I was really into Marvel.
Me
Sure.
too.
That's kind of like the end of me being really into Marvel.
Agreed.
It should have been the end of everybody.
It-
being
it's
into Marvel.
so
It
true,
should have
so
ended
true.
it there.
Really don't know
Yeah.
there. Yeah. I watched every Marvel movie over the course of 2 weeks leading up to seeing Endgame.
Did you watch
Jeez.
them in
Yeah.
chronological order or release order?
Release order.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do recommend, if you have about 500 hours to
Yes.
spare, watching it in chronological
I've tried,
order.
but I always get stuck around Age of Ultron.
That, honestly, that's
Fair.
fair.
And
yeah.
it is what
And
it is.
now with the TV shows, like,
There's too much.
No.
yeah, David tried doing it a while ago, my partner David, and they were watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was
breaks.
airing, they started including stuff from the movies and stuff, and I don't remember how many seasons that show is, but David got like 4 seasons into it and was like, oh, I have to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. today. And I'm like, no, you don't.
you actually
And they're
don't.
like, no, I've
have
like
free
committed
will.
to this. they were like dragging themselves through that show. I'm like, you can just put on something
just stop.
else.
Right.
Yeah.
That being said, some of the TV shows are good.
Agent Carter.
Oh my god, Agent
WandaVision.
Carter, WandaVision,
Yes.
Loki, I think is really
I haven't
good.
seen Loki.
I haven't seen the second season. I've only seen the first season.
Same.
But also, I mean, Tom Hiddleston.
yeah, right.
like,
How could you not? Endgame was really, really good, though.
It was.
It was
It was
a
incredible.
spectacular movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I stopped caring about Marvel as much is because I'm an Iron Man stan at heart. He's
Sure.
my favorite. And so with that movie, it is like...
So I felt on the
Spoilies.
cap.
No spoilies.
Bro, it's been 6 years. I was a huge Cap fan. Still
Oh,
am.
yeah.
And
Oh,
so,
my God.
like, same deal.
And would people hate me if I say that I like Cap and Iron Man better than Cap and Bucky? And that's a hot fandom take that I'll have.
I'm not going to engage with you right now. So, songs of the summer are included Old Town Road by Lil Nas X, our introduction to Lil Nas,
Oh, I love him so much.
Bad Guy by Billie Eilish,
Oh my god.
Taylor Swift released Lover, the whole album.
Oh, wow.
So that was like her comeback after Rep.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank You Next by Ariana Grande.
Sure.
Because at this point,
I
I mean, it was
love that.
after Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
That was 2018. But fallout from that.
No, was that... that summer I went to Lala with you. Or was that the summer before? That was 2018.
Yeah, no, that was,
No, it was 2019.
That
That was 2019.
Yeah, that's right.
So I
That-
saw Ariana there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Ben
If I had to guess who in this room saw Ariana Grande,
It would not
would
be.
not
it
be
would
Ben.
not be Ben.
He is the only one. Sonic the Hedgehog before they changed the teeth.
Ooh.
Oh my
the teeth
God.
cut.
Teeth.
And it wasn't just the teeth; it was the eyes as well.
Yeah,
I
Yes.
want to
Teeth.
stress that.
Very good.
Yeah.
The human
Eye.
teeth, the human eyes, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen the newest Sonic movie.
Me neither.
I fell asleep in it.
Wow.
Also, that was the only Sonic movie I've seen.
Okay, well, crazy to start with 3.
Correct.
The first one, genuinely.
I didn't even
enjoyed
know
it.
there was a second one.
Yeah, the
I don't
second
think
one
it
I feel
was-
like kind of
One
It
of
went
them.
under.
Yeah.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
It's isn't it? I forget his name. John Ralphio, who is
Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, Ben Schwartz. Isn't he
Yes.
the one doing those movies?
He
play
is
Sonic?
He is Sonic, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think he does. He like direct or write or something also, or is he just acting?
He's just voice acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word.
Game of Thrones ended poorly.
Ooh,
Mm.
yes.
People wanted to storm Area 51.
Oh
I forgot
yeah.
about this.
Me
Wow,
too.
Yeah.
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 2019's a fever dream.
Yeah.
Cats, the movie, was released.
Yikes.
The butthole cut.
Yes. Elon Musk introduced the first Cybertruck. Ew.
Ew.
Gross.
And Lady Gaga won an Oscar that year.
Oh, so appropriate. Mayhem just dropped the other day. This is at least the second episode that I'm talking about the new Lady Gaga music.
Yeah,
but-
and only in episode 4.
and only episode 4, so...
You're 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about Salt Lake City, where everything is over the top. We
So
have
in this photo,
Yes.
this is the promo photo for.
the first season
the first
of Real
season.
Housewives of Salt Lake. Yes.
Do we think they are on a real ski lift, or is this all
No.
green screen?
This
No,
is
but
definitely
I-
green screen.
Man, I wish.
We're
Yeah.
likely seated on a long bench.
Yeah.
Fair.
If I had to guess.
However, I would love to... For one thing, it's a ski lift that's
Very
fitting
long.
6 people,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
feel like it's
Yeah.
not the standard.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I do think all of their shoes would have fallen off.
Oh,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
by now.
totally.
Yeah.
Salt Lake is a town of massive mountains, massive church, a massive desire to exceed the Joneses.
A quick lesson on how to be a good Mormon. Don't drink, don't swear, treat your body like a temple.
Now, it is worth noting
I'm
that
doing none of those things.
Lisa does none of those things.
Great.
She owns multiple liquor brands. Her most infamous moment on this show is a swear-riddled hot mic rant about her best friend. And her family dinners are her and her husband and her 2 kids all in the car doing a fast food drive-through tour.
Nice.
They never eat at the dinner table. She loves Taco Bell. Which, like,
That-
me too.
That feels like the
Yeah.
most normal thing I've seen about a housewife so far.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, so Lisa Barlow is a bit of a contradiction. We
Yeah.
won't be talking about her today, but she's an icon, so I had to throw her in there. So, like I said, Salt Lake is a town with massive mountains. I mean, the mountains are, like, truly spectacular.
Yeah, like as soon as you get out of the airport, like
And
it's just mountain.
The church, obviously, is, like, the...
It's gorgeous, to be honest.
It
I
is.
mean, I do think religion has really stopped with making really cool architecture. And
Agreed.
that's something that, you know, if they're going to be doing this, I think we should keep up with cool architecture.
When we were
Sure.
there, the church was covered up with scaffolding.
Yeah, it was being
and we were
renovated.
like...
It was sad. It
we
was
had-
real sad.
Yeah, because
That's
we
a
were
bummer.
standing on the square like, where is the church? Where
Right.
did
Yeah.
it go? What did they
Yeah.
do with it? Yeah.
and this is the Mormon church, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
We
Yes.
did see like a choir rehersal happening in the
Oh,
church,
yeah,
which
that was
really
actually
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a full production though, like a
Yeah.
whole
Oh,
band,
yeah.
like lighting setups that like, I mean, 10 times what our high school had. Like truly unbelievable. Like a 300-person choir,
Yeah. Oh.
where it's like an honor to be in the choir, so it's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
big deal. Yeah, that's how we spent Passover.
That is, I forgot about that. That's how we spent Passover that year.
You guys were doing your little rumspringa. You're like,
Yeah,
let me see what else there is to offer out here.
And the Mormons kept coming up to us, like, and talking to us. It was like kind of bizarre. Like,
They could tell that you guys weren't part of the church
you
yet.
would just be walking down the street and they'd be like, "Hi, how are you?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Do I know you?"
We looked like we did not belong at
did
all.
not.
I mean, is that Mormonness or is that just us growing up on the East Coast?
I think it's a combination
Both,
of
yeah.
both. I describe Real Housewives of Salt Lake City as Housewives drag because it is peak camp.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
That's my pitch for you, Kelsey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're getting me.
The Mormon culture believes that we can be perfect. Perfection is attainable. That's what Mormon doctrine says. Attaining perfection is a Mormon pastime.
So that's your intro to
Yeah.
Mormonism in Salt Lake City.
And as someone who didn't know a lot about Mormonism,
Yes.
her sparkly silver dress seems so camp, honestly. And it's drawing me in. Like, seeing, when I think of Mormons, I think they're kind of, like, not as out there.
Sure.
They're like, they don't drink coffee. They're not drinking alcohol.
More like demure, reserved.
Exactly, yeah. So for her to be sitting there with this like so elaborate silver dress, I'm just like, okay, I see the kind of perfection you're going for, and I like it, honestly.
I think it's a safe assumption to say that like Mormons outside of Salt Lake might be a little more demure.
Yeah.
But in Salt Lake, like they can let their freak
They're
flag
the OGs.
fly.
They need to.
They are.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
They can do
Right.
whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
So let's meet our suspects, our people of interest. First up, we have Jen Shah. She is 46 in 2019, mother of 2. She is married to Coach Sharif Shah, who was the football coach or a football coach at the University of Utah. He's not around a ton. He's always recruiting or doing football.
Seems to be a constant with the husbands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's part of the reason why you would join Housewives.
Fair.
It's
Something
like,
to do.
okay, yeah,
Right.
I want something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is Tongan. She's originally from Hawaii. But she says in Utah she's black because they don't know any better.
Oh,
She was raised Mormon, but converted to Islam because a few years into her marriage to Sharif, she asked her husband if he would convert to Mormonism. And he said they did not accept black people until 1970-something.
Right.
Yeah.
Sharif is black. And she said, I couldn't be a part of a religion that wouldn't accept my husband or
Yeah.
my future kids.
Real.
So now she's Muslim.
Good for her. So she's from Hawaii. Was she raised Mormon in Hawaii, or did she leave there like at a young age?
I don't actually know off the top of my head.
Because I've never pictured any Mormons in
living
Hawaii.
in Hawaii.
I don't know
yeah.
whether she's like, I don't know that she was born and raised in Hawaii, but she is Tongan.
Okay, got you.
She has an assistant named Stuart, who we see in the car with Jen. He is her assistant / best friend / punching bag.
Cool.
We won't talk about him too much today, but rest assured we will talk about him plenty in the future. We will get to know maybe a little too much
I want
about Stuart.
main character Stuart. He's
Ben just can't stand seeing women in the spotlight. No, but he
Moving on.
looks like he looks like he has stuff going on in this photo.
correct.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm
Okay.
just going to leave that
Cool.
be.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have Meredith Marks. She is 48, mother of 3. She's from Chicago originally. She's Jewish. She owns a luxury jewelry store in Park City called, I think it's just called Meredith Marks. She has a new face every season.
No.
Yeah.
You gotta try stuff on, see what works.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. She has a son named Brooks Marks. Yeah, I said
like
that correctly. Who is taking a semester off indefinitely to
Me too.
start a fashion brand, which is one singular tracksuit.
Nice.
Is it a cute tracksuit?
I will leave that up to interpretation.
Crimes of fashion.
Yeah. It's a
Let's do it.
tracksuit that has like a ribbon down the side that says Brooks Marks.
Oh,
everywhere.
okay.
Oh.
Does it come in red? Because as soon as you talk about tracksuits, I'm thinking of Sue Sylvester from Glee.
As you
Nice.
should. No, it's black. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
bummer.
So he has one singular tracksuit.
Yeah. Also, it's so of the two suspects and people of interest that you've shown us so far, one is Muslim and one is Jewish.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Salt Lake is actually like shockingly diverse.
Except with black people.
No.
Okay, really?
Yeah. But so all 3 characters I'm going to be talking about today aren't Mormon.
Fascinating.
Interesting.
Yes. The entire Marks family speaks in the most insane vocal fry you've ever heard in your entire life.
Wait, look at all these cows.
Remember, we were so afraid of the wild animals?
Get me out.
Remember,
Get me out of
we
here.
were so afraid of the wild animals.
I cannot stand it.
All right. And finally, we have Mary Cosby, 47.
Is she related to Bill Cosby?
Not remotely related to Bill
God.
Cosby. At least that I know.
Yeah.
She's a mother of 1. She says exactly what's on her mind at all times. She's always dressed to the nines in designer. She has like, her house is full of racks and racks and racks of designer clothing. Where does she get the money?
No one knows.
No one knows. Her grandmother was the first lady of a Pentecostal church. So when her grandmother passed away, rather than passing it down to her daughter, she passed it down to Mary, her granddaughter, along with her husband.
She passed down her husband, is what you just said,
Yep.
to her granddaughter.
I'm gonna let Mary.
I missed that.
I'm gonna let Mary explain.
We were kind of I would say,
arranged marriage type. It was kind of in my grandma's will for us to marry.
She said, if anything ever happens to me, Bobby, I want you to marry one of my girls because they'll look out for you.
We're blessed to this day because of it.
I don't give a shit if it's your biological grandpa, step-grandpa, weird, okay?
I love my grandpas, but I would not want to be married to them. And I'm Mormon, and we have a lot of latitude for a lot of weird shit. They'll get over it. Just digest it.
I'm glad that she seems to be living her best
She
life.
owns it. It is her step-grandfather.
I don't think that makes a difference.
I
does not make a
agree.
difference.
Yeah, I agree.
That just is wild. And I feel like she could take care of him without them being married.
Correct.
Like, that seems like
You
a
don't
weird...
need a legal binding document for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
That fascinating.
It's a choice.
What's the age gap between them?
Enough. I mean, if Mary is, what?
48?
48 or so?
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. Gotta be at least
Robert
30
must
years.
be, like easily in his 70s.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So, but also not the craziest age gap we will see on the Housewives. So
Yeah.
This is fair.
take it for what it is.
Yeah. It's not the age gap so much that bothers me, but it's like, it's her grandpa.
Correct.
Yeah. And the fact that like in Salt Lake City, that's weird.
Yeah, that's
Right.
saying something.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
That is,
a bar.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the scene of the crime. The hospital smell incident.
Ooh.
All right. Actually, I guess this is more background. Essentially, here's what happens. Jen and Mary here once were friends. Now they are enemies because at a dinner before they were filming, when they were first, like, it was like a dinner to have everybody meet and get to know each other before cameras got picked up. Jen goes and hugs Mary. Everybody knew of each other, knew each other. Maybe, but Jen hugs Mary, and Mary recoils and says, "You smell like hospital." Jen had just spent a week in the hospital with her aunt, who had both legs amputated.
Oh. A wild thing to say. She said it to her face?
That it's unclear.
Got it.
But
Yeah.
a comment was made that got back to Jen that Mary made a comment about it.
A wild thing to say at all.
At all.
Yeah.
Point blank period. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
And it's not even something like, oh, she had like bronchitis or something.
Right.
It's like a double amputation.
Double amputation of her aunt. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mary says it brings her back to a dark place, the smell of hospital. Now I'd like to...
Yeah.
Who likes the smell of hospital,
Yeah.
but like...
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that this all takes place in episode 1 and spills into episode 2. For context, everything else, every other episode we've talked about have been like at least halfway through the season.
got it.
That is how insane
This just
Salt Lake
starts out
City
with a
is.
bang.
It's just these
Wow.
women are insane. All right, so let's talk about the setup here.
That
to
is
the actual crime.
Beautiful house with all the... So
this is the Shah Ski Chalet. Try saying that.
I'm not even gonna try.
Shah Ski Chalet.
Shah Ski Chalet.
This
There
is
it is.
Jen Shah and Sharif Shah's house that
Okay.
they might just rent for the show. Unclear. We don't know.
Either way, it's beautiful.
It is a gorgeous
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Certainly maybe not a house that football coach from the University of Utah could afford.
Yeah.
Again, we'll get into that at a later date.
Interesting.
So Jen decides to throw Meredith a birthday party at the Shah Ski Chalet. The theme is Studio 54, but with male strippers.
Whoa. That is not a thing that occurred at Studio 54.
I don't believe it did. No.
Yeah.
So Heather, who was the woman that said, I'm Mormon and we have a lot of latitude for a lot of weird shit, is Jen's like closest friend on the show. And Heather says, asks Jen, like, are you sure that's what Meredith wants for her birthday party? Because Meredith is very like refined and elegant. And Jen does not care. Jen asks Stuart what the cake flavors are, and he says it's chocolate raspberry, which Jen says is gross.
Disagree.
Basically, this party is for Meredith.
But Jen's
quote unquote
throwing a
for
party.
Meredith. Yeah, but I would argue that it's not argue. My opinion is that it's really about Jen showing off in her new role as a housewife for everybody that she knows, and also showing off for the audience.
Yeah.
Because Jen balls out on this party.
And you know, if you're gonna commit to something,
Correct. If you're going to go for it, go for it.
She fully drapes all the walls, completely transforms the house. She plans on getting the house put back together immediately afterwards, though, because her husband, who is recruiting, won't be there, and she doesn't want him to know how much money she's spending on this party.
Bold.
which is not dissimilar to Kels and I's relationship with Benjamin.
You're not wrong about that.
So people are arriving and wishing Jen a happy birthday. When Meredith walks in, the flower wall at the entrance says Shah Chalet at Meredith's birthday party. Jen is 40 minutes late to her own party. She makes a grand entrance.
Is that her in the...
That is Meredith.
That's Meredith. I'm looking for the words to describe that outfit.
I would call it Snuffleupagus meets Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's like, yeah. It feels like an 8-year-old girl's like bedroom just threw up on her.
Yeah. It's a pink like mini skirt dress, like a bodycon dress, but with the largest, puffiest feather boa sleeves you've ever seen.
It almost looks, the way this photo's cropped, because it's from like her waist up essentially, I would guess from a glance that she's actually wearing a hot pink gorilla costume. Just based on the silhouette of it.
Yeah,
maybe it looks different when you can tell that it's cropped, but in my mind...
Well, I mean, it's still a short dress.
Sure.
Yeah.
But from the waist
in
up...
my mind, the pants also look like the arms.
Sure.
Yes. Luckily they don't.
Thank God.
But that's Brooks, her son, with her, by the way.
I was going to ask. It looked like the son from the video clip.
Yeah. And Jen also flew in Tongan dancers for this.
I mean, again, if you're going to go for it, go for it. This is...
At one point, a producer says, "What do Tongan dancers have to do with Meredith?" And she's like, "Nothing. They just have to do with me."
I will say I appreciate that she flew in authentic Tongan dancers.
True.
You know?
Totally.
Didn't try to source them from Salt Lake City.
Right, because they don't exist.
Correct.
Mary arrives wearing the ugliest Valentino dress you've ever seen in your life.
And the thing is, so this is like a baby blue teal kind of situation with
it's like tulle.
Yeah, like tulle layers. And I think on the runway
it looks great.
Totally. I think it's very much a runway piece, not...
She did a terrible job accessorizing it.
Yeah.
You can literally see her bra strap, which I just think is a decision.
So the photo you've provided for us is the runway version versus what she's wearing.
Versus Mary wearing.
She looks like the Temu version of
Yeah.
what it's supposed to be.
It feels to me almost like she took the runway dress and then used the fabric to make a different dress.
It looks different. I know. Because when she walks in, she keeps telling people, "Oh, it's Valentino." And I'm sitting here like, first of all, this looks cheap as heck. Like, this is ridiculous. Also, it looks terrible. Yeah. What did the runway version look like? That's what it looks like.
Well, I think part of it is that the runway version, I think part of the reason why it's so pretty is because it has this sheer layering.
Yeah.
And I understand not wanting to necessarily wear a sheer dress.
Totally.
But whatever kind of slip situation she has going on underneath it really takes away from, I think, what makes the dress pretty.
It's not doing it for me.
It looks like she bought hers at Ross, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
I think this was a learning experience for Mary. A lot of housewives make decisions that, when they're not on TV, would probably make sense.
Sure.
The second it's broadcast, it's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
But you also try and go all out once you're on.
Yeah, of course.
So you're not wearing your normal clothes.
Right.
And we've all been there, trying something crazy with fashion.
Most of them don't have enough money to hire their own stylists, right?
Certainly not in Salt Lake. Yeah, I mean maybe in Beverly Hills. A lot of women get donated clothes from brands and stuff that'll be like, "We want you to wear this on the show."
Sure.
So that does sound more like a brand deal PR kind of thing. I love the way you said donated, because I thought they were
going to Goodwill.
I was like, oh, really?
I realized the second I said that and the way your face lit up, I was like, wait, no, hold on, Let me call.
I was like, wow, they're really letting anyone become a housewife these days.
So that's Mary's dress. I'm in it for the dress. We won't be doing crimes of fashion today, but we very well could.
Yeah. And that one, I feel like if I didn't see what the runway dress looked like, I would have been like, okay, it's not that great, but seeing the runway one next to it, it's like, okay, that's actually the biggest crime of fashion we've seen so far.
Absolutely. So, and she also was wearing white tights with it. I'd like to point that out. Anyway, so Mary sits down next to Jen. This is the confrontation now, and asks, "Are we good?" And Jen says, "We talked, and I told you about my aunt." And Mary, I'll let her explain. I think it's a lot better to let Mary do the talking sometimes rather than me trying to understand what the heck she's saying.
I have a bad, dark place going to the hospital. I just had 12 surgeries. I'm getting all my odor glands removed. The worst experience of my life, like dark, very dark. I mean, they lost me twice. I was literally on the dining table 2 times. And so that smell, I don't care if I need a nose job. I'm not going to the hospital.
My aunt just got both legs amputated at the last minute. So when you said it smells like hospital in here, you were just being mean.
Who guys say that too?
And any surgery has risk.
Totally.
But to sit
elective surgery
elective surgery to remove your odor glands.
And why did it take 12 surgeries?
Well, I assume you have a lot of them.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I don't know enough about.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to keep going back to the fashion, but the black bra straps while she's wearing white tights.
White tights.
I don't really mind if bra straps are visible, like, oh no, I'm wearing a bra.
But make it green.
Make it green or even white if you have this like white tight going on. Like, sorry. Anyway, back to this.
I know. And then like the silver and gold jewelry. I'm all for mixing metals. This is not it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
okay, sorry.
Back to
the crime.
The age difference. The age difference with her grandfather husband.
Yes.
I mean, is this going to catch up to her in the end? Like, he will likely be,
dead
in the hospital soon. Like, hospital smell is going to haunt her probably.
That hasn't come up yet.
Where's Medium Allison when you need her?
Yeah, when you need her. That's so true. So great callback, Benjamin.
I think that it's one thing, it's like a rude thing to say, and people have to be like responsible for their own triggers.
Yeah.
And while I do think it's completely valid, especially if like she did die twice on the table for armpit surgery.
Yeah, that feels elevated.
I mean, it could happen. It can happen.
Who knows?
But even if that does happen, like, you can remove yourself from a situation. You don't need to be like, oh my god, like this person smells like hospital. It's so like triggering for me. Da da da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if like every time anything triggered you, you made like a huge
right. I feel like half of the problems that happen in Housewives, half of the drama, not problems, would be resolved if they didn't run their mouths. But
that's a safe bet.
Right. Yeah. But that's where the drama comes in.
Yeah, they're rewarded for running their mouths.
TV, sure.
Right, and if they didn't do it though, where would we be?
Exactly.
Not in this bedroom right now.
Yeah.
Not in this bunker
I was going to say, I don't know if you can call this a bedroom.
This is not a bedroom.
That is still... Her aunt had a double amputation last minute.
Yeah,
it sounds like it doesn't even seem like it was planned.
No, I mean I don't know, but awful
it sounds,
either way. Yeah, right. Yeah, and her aunt is like her mother to her, like in this.
Yeah,
like,
they're very close.
Very close. Also in this moment, a shirtless man walks up with a tray of meatballs.
What?
And Jen grabs one and eats it in the middle of the conversation.
She's hungry. I don't like.
Yeah, listen, it's order. She paid for it.
Yeah.
Too. I just wanted to point that out.
That's so funny.
Ultimately, from what I can tell, she's mad at Jen's friend, to whom she made the comment because Jen's friend ran to Jen to tell her about it.
If you're gonna say something to someone that you know is friends with the person that you're talking about,
don't run your mouth. That's the moral of the story here.
I think it's that she got caught and she's mad she got caught.
Correct.
Yeah. Mary is not really apologetic. Shocking.
But what do you want me to do? Not say you smell like hospital when she gets both legs amputated.
I don't know what you want me to do about your aunt. Her legs are gone. Why are you getting your legs cut off at 60? That means your diet's bad. Just like she didn't eat right. Like, drink water. Like, okay.
Okay, again, I need a crossover with our first episode.
Yeah.
Where with the last time I checked, you had two
legs. I know. Oh God. Drink water. The amount of drink water.
What? Like, I'm sorry. Unless she knows some more specifics about this lady's situation.
I don't think she does.
I don't think she does.
The answer is not drink water.
Someone's diet and hydration levels are like the last thing I would think about if they need to get their legs amputated.
Because, Jen is what? She's 46? So her aunt has to be at least in her 70s.
Sure.
Yeah. The same age as Mary's husband. And like...
Grand husband.
Grand step husband. And like, that... It's not unrealistic for somebody of that age to have health problems that might necessarily, like if they have diabetes, they might, you know what I mean? Like, it's not great.
Also, like, anytime I hear amputation, my first thought is always some kind of, like, car crash or, like, accident or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Her legs are gone.
Her legs are gone.
She said, what do you want me to do? And
what do you want me to do? You have 2 legs last time I checked. So, Jen walks away tearing up, like, on her way out, before absolutely raging in a different room, screaming like, bitch, don't disrespect my fucking family.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of with her so far.
Yeah, totally. Jen just does go from 0 to 100 pretty quickly. Then she also, rightfully, makes fun of Mary's outfit.
Okay, good.
And she's in my goddamn house, looking like a Christmas tree.
No, a loofah, baby, a loofah.
I was gonna say Christmas tree.
Not it.
You know, she was just
Loofah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the cut to the full frame of her with the dress and whatever slip situation she has underneath, and the black bra straps and the white tights and the mixed metals.
And so bad.
Yeah, it looks like a bar mitzvah dress a little bit.
Yeah, but like. No self-respecting Jewish mother would let their daughter wear something like that.
No, I mean like...
We're also talking about 13-year-olds versus 40.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking more like me going to bar mitzvah, like as someone who's not Jewish.
I understand.
You know?
Fair enough. So Mary can't really accept any blame. Shocker. She ends up following Jen into the room, and they like argue a little bit more, but Mary ultimately does the textbook housewife apology, which is, I'm sorry if I hurt you. She does follow it up though with I never want to hurt you. Like, I'm sorry if I hurt you, I never want to hurt you, you know? And they kiss and make up.
Oh my God, really?
In the span of one episode.
Whiplash.
Yeah. Whiplash. So the question is, who's to blame? Mary, who told Jen that she smelled like hospital, or Jen, whose aunt lost both her legs in a double amputation?
Mary, without a question.
Mary, without a doubt.
Jen should get some sort of punishment for throwing a party for herself that was not supposed to be for her.
Yeah, I really wanted to drive that home because while Jen is certainly not to blame in this situation, Jen is to blame for lots of things.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, she got off scot-free here, but I don't want you going into Salt Lake City thinking Jen is, like, the picture of...
It feels almost like she knew that the party being about her would be perceived poorly.
Sure.
So she took advantage of this other situation that she can easily be the victim of, and in my opinion is the victim of this person saying something crazy and sensitive, so that way in the episode she appears more sympathetic.
Something I will say is that Mary did not expect to be invited to the party, but she was, because Meredith gave the guest list to Jen.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So this is the first time Jen and Mary are seeing each other
Gotcha.
since the incident.
Okay.
So you're probably also not wrong.
Yeah.
So they don't do everything together as a cast all the time?
No.
Interesting.
Actually, a lot of times, like, full cast scenes tend to happen, like, at the end of an episode, but there's a lot of scenes where it's just two housewives doing something together. Going to an exercise class, doing, like, whatever. Yeah. So it's not... Full scenes like that are not super common.
I just assumed anytime there's a party, it's like elementary school rules where like everyone's invited.
Yeah, you say that. That's like not true. I mean, it's true in that like by production standards, that's what it should be.
Sure.
But oftentimes housewives will very intentionally uninvite somebody or choose not to invite somebody, and that's a decision. Yeah. So it is elementary school rules, and they choose not to follow them.
Interesting.
Yeah, just like the popular girls in elementary school.
I would. It's a little more middle school than elementary school.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah. So what's Mary's punishment?
She needs to volunteer at a hospital.
She needs to have a perfume that's like smells like the inside of a hospital.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was saying that she should get her odor glands put back in.
Ooh.
Over 12
but
surgeries.
they specifically smell like hospital.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yes,
so every time
she infuse the perfume into her odor glands. Absolutely.
Yeah, every time that she sweats, it's hospital smell.
Absolutely. How about Jen Shah? Although she's in prison, maybe there's enough...
That's the real punishment. That's the real crime.
Yeah.
She needs to attend 10 other people's birthday parties and not talk about herself.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Difficult.
Yeah.
I think she needs to sit down with her husband and show him how much she spent on the party.
Ooh, that's a good one.
We'll get...
Ooh.
alternate. She has to throw a party, but the soundtrack to that party on loop is "It's My Party and I Can Cry If I Want To."
Okay.
The entire for 3 hours.
Cool.
I think like the first 20 minutes I'd be like, okay, this is like kind of funny, and then I'd be sick of it, and after like 2.5 hours I'd be like really into the song.
Yeah.
Fair. It would loop back around for sure.
Exactly.
It's like that episode of How I Met Your Mother where they're listening to that 500 Miles song.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, something I will say about Jen, and this has nothing to do with the episode, is that, so she is in prison, as I mentioned, spoiler alert.
Is she the one that you went to the...
Yeah, she got arrested outside a beauty lab in Laser in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Gotcha.
Which is Heather's business.
Oh.
So, but Jen is currently in the same prison as Elizabeth Holmes.
Oh, really?
And they're apparently friends.
That does not surprise me.
I want that.
I want
That's
that.
the show I want. That's the show I want to watch.
Absolutely.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah. That's Salt Lake City, you guys.
And again, this was all one episode.
One episode, it spills into the very beginning of episode 2.
And there were no Mormons.
Not in this scenario.
story.
You're
Yeah.
right. There are 3 Mormon women
Got it.
out of
Okay.
6. Out of 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I know. It's pretty wild. Then don't worry, the Mormons are crazy too.
Good.
They're cousins.
That's what I want to hear.
All 3 of them are cousins?
No, 2 of them are cousins. They all went to BYU.
Well, yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Where else do you
get
go?
into
Right.
it. Yeah. I just love Salt Lake City. It's like one of the best franchises.
It's for sure, this is the closest you've gotten me to being interested in
Housewives
in something.
Drag, I knew would get you into
Yeah,
the
you said
mood.
that, I was like, okay,
I know
let's
my
see.
audience.
Yeah.
This is tame for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
How many seasons are there?
Right now they're on season 5.
Okay.
I
That's
have
not too
seen
daunting.
the new season yet. I
Gotcha.
will say. But season 4 was like explosive. It was unbelievable.
Do you like to watch it as it comes out, or do you like to binge the show?
I like to binge the show.
Yeah.
I like to wait until there's like 8 episodes, and then I catch up and watch all of it.
Yeah.
And then I start to kind of get on it all at once. Yeah. Yeah. But, this, and season 2 is when Jen gets arrested. So, like, it's literally
pretty early.
like, I mean, it's an absolutely insane show. Reality Today's segment is going to be a new one. We're going to be discussing housewife taglines, which is something that I have not covered at all on this podcast yet.
Yeah.
Great.
So for a little bit of background, every season, for every episode, there's like the intro song, you know, and each housewife comes up and says, like, there's a like video footage of them from the show, and they say their tagline. And every season they have a new tagline.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
Okay.
like in the first episode of Drag Race when the queens come in and they have their entrance line.
Yes, except it's recorded in a studio and put on every season, every episode.
Do we think this is a marketing intern's entire job? Just coming up with different taglines?
It might be. I actually don't know whether what I believe happens is that Bravo or a marketing intern comes up with like 3 different taglines for the housewives, and then they choose which one.
Sure.
Yeah.
They have alts. They have different.
Yeah, and taglines can be exceptional. They can be really bad. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City tends to have some pretty unbelievable taglines.
Great.
Because again, Housewives Drag.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play for you the entire Housewives of Salt Lake City theme from season 1, but broken up into each individual housewives' taglines, and we will rate their taglines.
Great.
Okay.
The 3 characters you did not meet, Lisa Barlow, I guess you did meet her briefly.
Yeah.
Whitney Rose, who is
Love that
Mormon.
name.
I know, Whitney's cool. She's Mormon, and her cousin, Heather.
Got you. And Heather was the one in the incredibly sparkly silver dress, right?
Correct. That is correct. And who called Mary's dress a loofah.
Got it.
That is
Nailed
Heather.
it.
Whitney, we like really didn't meet this episode.
Okay.
She's very low key in this season, I guess. But she's a fun story. So, all right. We're gonna start with Jen.
In this town, I'm Queen Bee and MVP.
A little basic.
Yeah.
Basic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the MVP comes from her husband being a coach.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
This is Coach Shah.
I'll give it. What are we rating out of 5?
Sure.
Okay. I'll give it a 3.
Yeah.
It's a 2 for me.
2?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
What about you, Ariel?
I would give it a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. There's way better. Her season 2 one is the only thing I'm guilty of is being Shah amazing.
Oh,
Which
5
is
out of
bad
5.
because she literally
gets arrested.
She is guilty of other things. That is true.
Yeah. I feel like the problem is this is like dressed to impress right now, where it's the first outfit, and I don't know like
you have nothing.
What
to
exactly? So I'm worried I've given it too high.
Like those blind ranking TikTok videos.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. I would say a 2 is a safe bet. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we can rank all 6 of them as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Next up, we have Lisa Barlow.
When you take cheap shots, always expect a hangover.
I love it.
That's pretty great.
I
love it.
She's the one that owns multiple tequila brands.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
I think 4 out of 5 for that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 4.5.
I like 4.5.
Yeah.
All right. I'm giving it a 4. I also love Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, we have Whitney Rose.
This Rose isn't scared to handle a little prick.
The implications.
So she is married. What I will say is a little bit of background is that she was married to a guy.
Mm-hmm.
At work, she fell in love with her boss, I'm afraid, who was also married. They had a very torrid affair. They broke up their marriages and got married to each other. And in the process, they got excommunicated from the church.
Ariana Grande, who?
Yeah. Yeah. But 10 years later, they're still together.
Wow.
So love finds a way.
So
I hate that one actually.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
I just don't know why.
It's valid. Would you put it above or below Jen's?
Above, because I do think that it's more memorable.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3.5.
There's some wittiness. I was gonna say 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
So it goes right now it goes Jen, Whitney,
Lisa.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. Next we have. Let's find out.
Jealousy is a disease, to which I say, get well soon.
Now that is one of my all-time favorites.
I feel like at first glance it doesn't feel good, but the more it's sitting with me.
I know. Jealousy is a disease.
To which I say, get well soon.
Does it have anything to do with her? No, she's not like
she's
a epidemiologist or anything.
Nope. She runs a jewelry store. Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, Meredith,
I'm
classic.
giving that I'm gonna give it a 4. I do regret giving the first one a 3 now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Can I retroactively bump that down to 2?
Absolutely. You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say 4 for this one as well.
You can, be a follower, but you can bump down to it too. Okay, so it's what?
I think it
Jen.
Jen.
Jen on the
Whitney.
Yeah.
Lisa.
Meredith.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next we have Mary.
Okay.
I love God, but I will read you like a scripture.
That is 5 out of 5.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
That is a good, right?
I love God, but I will read you like a scripture. Oh, delicious.
Good deal. And finally, we have...
Just like my pioneer ancestors, I'm trying to blaze a new trail.
I hated that.
That's Heather.
There's too many syllables in that.
Just like my
pioneer ancestors, I'm trying to blaze a new trail.
Consonants.
Yeah, exactly. There's too much going on with it.
Feels very Salt Lake City though. Like it
does.
It fits very well, which makes sense for it being the last thing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'll give it a 3.5.
I'll give it a 4. I think it's creative.
I was gonna say, I'll say 3.
3?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what's our final ranking?
So let's go top to bottom. Number 1,
Mary.
I'll read you like a scripture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No question.
Number 2, cheap shots.
Cheap shots.
You'll have a hangover.
Oh, Lisa. Okay.
Yeah,
great.
I really like that one.
Great.
Number 3 is gonna be jealousy is a disease.
Which I
get
say,
well
get
soon.
well soon.
Yeah.
I think the vocal fry really makes
so
that.
good.
I don't think everyone could pull that off.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And then number 4, I'm starting to forget the other
little
ones.
prick.
Oh,
can handle a little prick.
The little
yeah.
prick.
Mm-hmm. Is that? I would actually put Pioneer Ancestors as number 4, and then Little Prick after that. But that's just me.
I would flip them, but
yeah, I think Little Prick is number 4.
Little Prick,
yeah,
and
then Pioneer Ancestors, and then MVP.
MVP.
Yeah.
Great, and that is now official. Those are the rankings of.
Great.
Yeah.
Those are the Reality Bombshell.
Official
Our
rankings.
first ever Reality Bombshell tagline ranking.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go on the Salt Lake City wiki and put in, certified.
Certified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Write it in the script. It's like scripture. You know.
Mary
will read it.
And I will read it. Oh my god, I'll read you like script. I'm guess that's gonna make its way into my lexicon.
Oh, I
can
hope
tell
so.
you for sure.
I always say jealousy is a disease. Well, I say it in my head, but
to which I say, get well soon. That at a gay club, followed by the drop for disease from Lady Gaga would go so hard. We have to have the interns edit that.
Right, you have to make a TikTok of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember when we were so afraid of the wild animals?
Oh my god, there's cows.
Well, thank you guys for indulging my timeline fantasies.
Yeah.
You have to think of your own taglines.
Oh, okay. Not now. We will.
You have to think about it.
This is not off the cuff.
Next episode we'll have come in locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded.
Yeah.
I have a couple
Patreon
floating
exclusive.
around in my head.
Patreon
but
exclusive. This is
a little early for Patreon.
I was gonna say that.
Anyway, just
TikTok exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Find us on TikTok to hear our taglines. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram and everywhere else at Reality Bombshell.
Great segue.
Yeah, I'm so good at this. It's almost like I'm a professional or something. You can find us on whatever streaming platforms you're listening to. Right now, we are already on Spotify and like 8 apps I've never heard of before.
Everywhere you find podcasts.
Everywhere you find podcasts except Apple Podcasts so far.
But we'll be there by the time this episode comes out.
Exactly. Okay. And go ahead and make sure you guys set up automatic downloads. Listens are great, but downloads are really what help us. So you can, one time you do automatic downloads and you'll be helping us for every episode going forward. Thank you so much to, I always forget his last name, Tim Schools. Tim Schools. I gotta write that down. Thank you to Tim Schools for doing our icon. Thank you to Isaac Toub for doing our theme song. Woo-hoo. And yeah, I've been Kelson.
I'm Ben.
I've been Ariel.
Bombs away.
Reality Bombshell.